For Silva, turning 40 as a twink was the end of the world. It is no secret that most of Hollywood is gay, and his pettiness, or rather petiteness, earned him a few speaking roles and the capacity to play 23 until he was 38. Yet he made one mistake that forever haunted him. He chose love. Monogamy is not the most promoted concept in the gay community, of which I blame prejudice. If you are disgusted by a community's love, you are not eager to present or conceptualize back to that community the idea of romance. If anything, you hypersexualize it. And with enough time and training, they can believe that that is the reality. For Silva, looking like a 5-foot Latino cherubim made him attractive to many execs that promised him at least a short film at Cannes, and for a while he did not mind it, until he met Aramis. Aramis always triggered me. As a childhood friend, I battled between whether our friendship was habitual or heartfelt. In Puerto Rico, the people you grow up with become the people you stay with, and our community prides itself on that level of loyalty beyond likeness. We both had a pounding Leo energy that made us bright in every room, but quietly felt lost in each one. That was our glue, lostness and attention. When Silva and Aramis met on a Halloween, it was supposed to be a corner makeout session. Silva was dressed as his usual leather daddy, and Aramis was Megan, the robot. They were both mutually terrifying. 2 weeks later, at a casting, they saw each other, and by chance realized they had been quite the few same castings for a while, because there is nothing gayer than falling in love with a man that looks exactly like you. Just ask my dad. Yet everyone knew this relationship was doomed, because Aramis is a natural-born destabilizer. Again, I speak with Aramis like a human mirror. In life, there are people that show you your worst fears. Growing up with immature parents meant I was raised to be more aware of others than myself, and recent years have left me lonelier for it. Scared to be abandoned, but confused as to what makes a relationship intimate, steady, consistent. Aramis was the same, but a handsome, taller version of that toxicity, which made his avoidance of attachment look charming. After all, what 55-year-old singleton has not acted like a 22-year-old frat boy confused over their future? Men are allowed to get older, but not wiser. And this actually is true, especially if they're actors. The love affair between Aramis and Silva was torrid. Silva liked stability and a feeling like it is a constant motion forward his life, while Aramis was a whirling dervish, constantly spinning and whiplashing in place. When it was good, it was great. When it was bad, it was boring. Yet 6 years of on again, off again came with a price that was not simply aging. I want to be monogamous, or rather, I wanted to be, and that cost me. I did not want to F for roles, and trust me, people will make you pay. But I worked, he said, biting into his mid-break taco. We had spent the day being extras on some type of Pfizer commercial for an unreleased drug, and Silva had spent most of his time trying to meet everyone and figure out if the director was an ex-F buddy. In this industry, we cannot say no, and I don't regret it, but I do think people are colder to me. You think I should approach the director? He looked at the director from across the makeshift cafeteria. We had gotten a gig via a friend, and in truth, commercials paid great, although they made you feel existentially farther from winning an Oscar. I say let it go. So you left him when you got with Aramis. Now, you are single again, and you still wouldn't go with him, so I say just eat your taco. I'm gonna go. I should go. I'm gonna go. I'm just, make sure that we're cool, Silva declared and shot up towards him. I watched from across the lunch table, the how is the weather conversation, and wondered what I would have chosen. Love or career? A life of better roles and fleeting casual lovers over the what if of someone maybe being the one. All right, let's heal. Let's discuss. So, I think for Silva, Silva, a lot of this past year, I've been realizing how much I have made relationships that were very reflective of my family. And my family was very bitter, very envious, always trying to measure people, who's really happy, who really is actually going for their joy, who's actually working to get better and or just lazy and lucky. And it's something that I thought I cut out of myself because I didn't do it as much as them. But in recent years, I realized I've started. And that's because if you don't go out for your dreams, and if you consistently choose others around you before yourself, not only choosing others around you, but choosing to help them in achieving what they want over you going for what you want, recipe for resentment. And that's what Silva did. And like, Aramis is such a tricky character because I've never seen a relationship where a person walked away better for being with Aramis. There, I said it. He's very, he's friendly, but he's like I think what triggers me about him is that like, I don't know if he's talented, but I know he knows how to get with people who are. He knows how to stick to people that are achieving what he wants. And then by the end of the relationship, either he doesn't want them, they didn't get what he thought they would get for themselves or for him. And everybody walks away like, did you fall in love with me or did you just try to see how I could make you love yourself? And I don't think that's something that I would like to include. Like I want to start relationships with people that are mentally healthy, that it's not always a yo-yo of I hate you, I love you, I think you're great, no, I don't. I've never known a relationship where I was always liked, where I was always loved, where I was always protected. I almost had to earn that side of that person by by teaching them how to protect themselves. And I think that Silva, in many ways, has had similar experiences. And I think a lot of my life I lived it half-assed, like half in a relationship, half focusing in my career, and still not going for what I want, the relationship I want or the career I wanted. And I think with Silva, he'll never say it, but knowing how bitter he can be and how judgmental he can be towards others, I know that there's a part of him that deep, deep down thinks it was a mistake to invest in Aramis. That maybe the friendship that they still have is just like a consolation prize for the fact that Hollywood is skeevy. You also shouldn't be, effing for roles. But he did get isolated because he was in a serious relationship and he was holding down the fort. And I think it's a double whammy of like, you're in this industry that can be very, very skeevy. And you're closing doors that shouldn't open with that key, aka sex. The flip side is you're closing it for someone who inevitably you're lucky you got 7 years. And Lord knows he cheated. Like, a lot of my life has been choosing the lesser evils, and I want to dedicate myself to building something that lasts for me, that makes me feel like me, and not just trying to adjust relationships that were never going to work, adjust career paths that were never going to fulfill me. I want to actually live a happy life and a healthy one. And I think Silva thought he was doing that, and he wasn't. And that can leave you very paranoid. That can leave you really bitter. And we see that in the end, oh my God, is the director looking at me? Was that one of my exes? Should I say hi? And the truth is, if you miss your window, you just got to go build another door. And what's really, really hard is that you don't necessarily know what you want to build just because you can't build what's already gone. It's like his window was there. He had his opportunities. And at the very least, he could have rerouted himself. But he didn't because he was in love. And it sucks that no matter what, he paid a cost for just trying to be healthy. Life.